We talk a lot about regulation and compliance and how this eats into the time and resources of our clients. Do you feel that interoperability between platforms can alleviate this burden? And can you give us examples of either or any of these that have taken place within your environment? Dan, I'm going to ask you first, if you don't mind.
No, not a problem at all. So the simple answer is interoperability is critical. Why is it critical? If I look at what we've been delivering in terms of tax solutions or CSDR in those areas of regulation, MiFID II, then STP, the panel before was talking about, is great when it goes through nicely. What happens when it doesn't? And it's as simple as that. It's a case of how do you resolve that exception? How do you get the client to confirm, disagree, agree, whatever it is, resubmit, and then reprocess? So from our point of view, sitting over and aggregating it and then being able to communicate via email and PDFs is great. We've now got to move into the next world, and that is how do I get that automation? And then how do I record that and have my audit trail? Because GRC is sitting over everyone saying I must have an audit trail of everything and be able to see who's agreed to what. And it's that audit trail. I'll stop there. But there's absolutely integrating with something that can then push it out, record it, and pull it back again, fundamentally.
Yeah, you can't get anything from emails that are sent to people.
Well, you can, but again, another point, one of the clients we've been speaking to, they're talking about their email history and how long they're going to record it for. And we talked about, will it be turned off after 90 days, 120 days, will it be archived, how do you access it? So it then becomes how do I retrieve and prove when I get an audit, internal or external? So absolutely.
Elena?
Yes, and I'll go back to regulations, how much time it takes us, a significant amount of time, and not only for our clients, but also for us as vendors. Anything we do is always with in mind meeting regulatory asks. Every product we launch, every upgrade we do to a product, we need to make sure it really meets regulatory asks. Speaking about the emails we've done, so when we speak about regulations, we go back to 2008. The most important that comes to mind is reporting, but things have evolved. So now even communication has to be meeting regulatory asks. So a regulator can come and knock on our door with very short notice, not notice, and that's to access the communication. And how can you do this? So look at what has happened over the last couple of years with so many fines to the big players because they were executing trades on WhatsApp. Did they want to execute trades on WhatsApp? Not necessarily. But for example, in commodities, if you're trading with a grain farmer in South America, he doesn't have a platform. He doesn't want to invest on a communication platform. He has a telephone and that is good enough. But as a regulator, I need to understand why you've been buying and selling. This is why the fines. So interoperability is very important here, trading, but also you need to connect with the communication platform of your choice. If your counterpart wants to be on WhatsApp, let him be on WhatsApp, but you need to meet your regulator's demands. You need to be able to capture that, to be able to prove why you did that execution.
Yeah. John?
Regulation, I think, it probably touches everybody in this room at some point. It's certainly touched Xceptor and our customers over the last 10 or so years. I think if we just rewind and think about those particular regulations we've got in place, so you've got FRTB, CSDR, you've got rewrites in ESMA and CFTC. We've now got T+1, which is pulling everybody left, right and centre. It's a challenge, and we have to be able to, as a service provider and a technology provider in this space, we have to be agile enough to work in those spaces, work with our customers to solve those problems. I think data is the currency here. Across all of those, you're seeing the need for quality data and that interoperability between what can be provided from a system like Xceptor to do that reporting and so forth into the regulators.
Yeah, and then linking it all up together between the fintechs to make it easier for everybody to get to that data in a consistent way.
I think I mentioned it earlier on, the normalization of data or the centralization of data is the key, and how do you stitch it all together? Yeah. So it's the internal stitching of data, but it's also then pulling the external stitching of data into the system. So you've got that 360.
Yeah.
And the governance and control wrapped around all of that as well.